Although in they say a lifetime of 100 years is generally not possible, even if it's 100 years, the calculation is that 50 years are wasted in sleeping, 20 years are wasted in childhood and boyhood, and 20 years in invalidity. This leaves only a few more years, but because of too much attachment to household life, those years are also spent with no purpose, without God consciousness. Therefore, one should be trained to be a perfect brahmachari in the beginning of life, and then to be perfect in sense control, following the regulative principles. If one becomes a householder, from household life one is ordered to accept vanaprastha life and go to the forest and then accept sannyas. That is the perfection of life. From the very beginning of life, those who are jitendriya, who cannot control their senses, are educated only for sense gratification, as we have seen in the Western countries. Thus, the entire duration of a life of even 100 years is wasted and misused, and at the time of death, one transmigrates into another body which may not be human. At the end of 100 years, one who has not acted as a human being in a life of tapasya, austerity, and penance must certainly be embodied again in a body like those of cats, dogs, and hogs. Therefore, this life of lusty desires and sense gratification is extremely risky. Srila Prahlad Maharaj is preaching to his demoniac schoolmates. Obviously, Prahlad Maharaj started on the note that Krishna consciousness should be cultivated from the beginning of life. Any endeavor in Krishna consciousness is going to lead to permanent gain. Then Sri Prahlad Maharaj is saying, therefore, the state of Krishna consciousness we should attain. So that life is not wasted again and again. Mind it, these were demoniac schoolmates. They might have all taken admission in that high seat of education. The in Chandamarka University, there's no doubt about the fact that they would be the best quality education. We can just imagine MIT, Stanford, or KGP, so there will be the best kind of infrastructure, the best kind of education, the most qualified teacher. That means the highest level of sensual bombardment. Because, and generally when people come to a high seat of learning, they have great expectations. Is it not? Like people join MBA program, they have great expectations. They're not joining for namesake. Is it not? Sometimes people join MBA program for some great expectations they have. What is the expectation? Very clear, is it not? They're earning a few thousands. They want to earn a few lakhs or maybe a few crores. Expectation very clear like that. Similarly, we will see, we can understand that now these demoniac schoolmates, uh, uh, they must have entered this great seat of learning with great expectations as well. Is it not? So everyone is surcharged on that note. And here is Prahlad Maharaj, who's preaching to them. That you are simply making a foolproof program to waste 100% of your life. Full 100 years of your lives. Is it not? Full 100 years of your life. So this materialistic life based on sense gratification and economic development is very pathetic. Why? Because it simply drags a person. It simply drags a person to waste all 100 years. Is it not? So if we take the score on the waste scale, okay, how many years got wasted? 100 on 100 is a score. Is it not? That means if we take the realistic score, that okay, how many years are tangibly and substantially utilized, the score is 0 out of 100. Such an unfortunate disposition. Such an unfortunate disposition. The score is 0 out of 100. No. Such an alarming situation. World statistics, 0 out of 100. Not even 5, 10, 20, 30, 40. In any examination, passing marks are 40. Is it not? Right? The passing marks are 40. And here, in the examination of life, if we see the statistics, the mode is 0. The mean, median, mode, MOD, mode. The mode is 0. The complete curve is skewed, tending to 0. Is it not? Some sparse rare souls, no, showing some positive figures. So, if we try to understand, Prahlad Maharaj is so beautifully pointing out the futility of material life. Materialistic note does not spare anything. Nothing is spared. It's 0 out of 100. So we try to understand. Just like if there is a world famous coaching institute, but after getting coaching, in the JEE examination, you get 0 percentile. Who would want to continue with that coaching? But Maya's online coaching, offline, online, Maya's all-time coaching is such that you make sure the person doesn't go forward from 0. And everyone wants to remain admitted to that, thinking that, okay, this is a very brand coaching. Just so many times when we go and tell people, why don't you take the Krishna consciousness? They say, no. You are the, you few handful of people, chanting, speaking about spiritual subject matters, the whole world, the whole world is, you don't have branding. The branding is there in the whole world. You see, people are, the modern day life, the Western culture, there is branding there. There is authenticity there. The whole world is following it. Is it not? Authenticity. Where is authenticity? Right. That's how sometimes people feel actually. What if I take to Krishna consciousness? I'll be the only person in the whole world, practicing, or maybe among the only few, everyone will consider me, oh, poor fellow, got brainwashed. So people look for branding actually, and people are attached to branding. But this branding is so dangerous, is it not? This branding is so dangerous. So this is an amazing section in which Prahlad Maharaj is preaching amidst these high expectations, high sensual and economic expectations. And Prahlad Maharaj is telling this is all a waste. You're getting a score of 0. So your semester scorecard is a great illusion. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Because they would say that, no, I am getting 9 points. I am, I'm 95 percentile, whatever. The plan was, the scorecard is illusory. That scorecard is illusory. They're actually getting 0. Because the whole life is getting short circuit. Whole life is getting short circuit. So Prahlad Maharaj preaching here is quite enlightening. It's quite enlightening. Many times, devotees devotees get a feeling that, okay, because the surroundings are too materialistic, because the surroundings people are too sensual, it is not possible to preach to them. It is not possible to preach to them. So people are too sensual. People are too much allured by animalistic pleasures. So they won't be able to understand and listen. They don't have any sukriti or whatever. And there are various variations and corollaries which exude out of this thought process. So sometimes one feels that, okay, let us not speak about Krishna only. Like I remember many times there was, there has been spikes of quite, what do you call this, outroar or hue and cry has been there about that, oh, in DYS we are speaking about God too early. Too early we are speaking about God. So there has been a great, there has been a great, the time to time it happens. It's an ongoing phenomenon. Time to time it happens. So there has been a great outroar on that. Okay, in session 5 we are speaking about, so point blank we are speaking about, you're wasting your life. Prahlad Maharaj started the first session only speaking point blank. You're wasting your lives. You're getting 0 and 100 on the scorecard. Sometimes we are speaking so many pastimes of the Lord in the fifth session, sixth session only. We're speaking about Vraja Leela, we're speaking about Hanumanji, we're speaking about Ramayana Leela. Na? Sometimes the feeling is just be goody goody, just speak time management, or just stress management, time management, like that. And uh, uh, positive thinking. The terminologies and the jargons go on changing. Nowadays, the jargons are mindfulness, and resilience. There was one more jargon we heard about. Grit, the grit scale, and so on and so forth. Actually, so sometimes some people doesn't feel that let us just be goody 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 goody. Now we may say yes, Prahlad Maharaj first time happened in Satyuga, but then the civilization which he was in was not human beings or Deva civilization actually. It was demoniac civilization. That means that civilization would have been no better than today's civilization, whether Indian world or Western world, whatever you call it as, because it's demoniac civilization. The demons, they are being fully termed as demons, demoniac schoolmates. It is not written as innocent children who were being brainwashed to be demons. No, they were demoniac schoolmates. They had good amount of brainwashing already done. This is not. They, they already had their teeth coming out, little. They already had their, horns coming out. They already had their nails coming out. Like that. So that way. So they were in the making, but then they were already demons. That's how they are being qualified. They are not being qualified as poor, ignorant, children. They are being termed as demons. They were demonic schoolmates. And Prahlad Maharaj is preaching to them. Prahlad Maharaj is preaching to them. So this episode is very inspiring, because from this episode we can learn that the Krishna consciousness, the process of Krishna consciousness is never stale. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness is never stale actually. Krishna consciousness is an awakening. And anybody in any amount of slumber can awaken by this calling of Krishna consciousness. Is it not? So why to be fearful about? So unfortunately, what to say of preaching? Many times devotees are fearful about practice only. This is a demoniac situation. This is a very degraded situation. How can I practice? Like that. Therefore, let me hide my all Krishna conscious symptoms. Is it not? Let me hide my tilak. Let me hide my mala. Let me hide that I am devotee. Is it not? Sometimes people feel practice only is very difficult what to say of because there is whole demoniac civilization. Is it not? So that is the situation. But we can learn here from Shri Prahlad Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj preaching. And what to say of practice? Prahlad Maharaj is preaching. And mind it, Prahlad Maharaj was their favorite actually. All these demoniac children were so attracted to Prahlad Maharaj. So this is a very, therefore this is a very instructive episode actually. Prahlad Maharaj is speaking. Now, the point is, what is it that that is making Prahlad Maharaj's words so powerful actually? we will see actually we can learn a very wonderful lesson here. The lesson is that uh, preaching is not done uh, uh, as a warfare. Preaching Krishna consciousness is not done like shooting missiles on the other person. Yeah. And okay, you fallen demon, take this. Your life is waste. Lifetimes after lifetimes. You'll be born, and you'll not see the light. Also, you'll be born in areas and zones of darkness. There's so many kinds of hell. Preaching is not done in a point of view of shooting. Actually, Srila Prahlad Maharaj, we see his characteristics. Prahlad Maharaj is very gentle in his behavior. Very gentle. Secondly, Prahlad Maharaj had a great concern for the demonic schoolmates. His heart was greatly concerned. And out of great concern, therefore, Prahlad Maharaj was not able to dilute it out. Is it not? And that is why he is presenting. Why Prahlad Maharaj is presenting? He's presenting because of his great concerned heart. And therefore, people were able to catch the language of concern. The language of concern. So this is a very amazing episode we can learn here. That how so there is no transformation when there is insensitive shooting. We're simply shooting around. Okay. Whoever gets hit. Whoever misses. But Prahlad Maharaj was not preaching like that. So therefore, preaching is not to be done as a warfare. Shooting. But it has to be done with great concern. It has to be done with great concern. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj's words were greatly concerned. And we can see Srila Prabhupada followed in the same path. Prabhupada never diluted the message of Krishna consciousness, although he was being pressurized to do so at every nook and corner. Everyone was telling nobody is going to accept your point blank message. Is it not? The point blank message, who nobody is going to accept in the Western world. The other day we were reading how Allen Ginsberg conversation with Prabhupada, and Allen Ginsberg was telling this is too much. We should at least reduce some principle. Is it not? The principles are too strong. And the Prabhupada had that that pressure from all around actually to reduce principles. Prabhupada never diluted. But what he had was a great concern for all of them. And that is why they could understand his language. That's why they could understand his language. And therefore, Srila Prahlad Maharaj is bringing out this great sense of urgency in his message. We see how panoramic or how amazing is the message of Prahlad Maharaj. Where he is exposing the reality of this material world, material life. 50 years have gone and sleeping. 20, 40, with 50%, this thing becomes 20 years. So 70 years finished. So the best route to take is a direct flight. Now, one is now. So people look for direct flight because that is going to save so much of time, is it not? So much time. But then, okay, but then if one takes, if that is not the case, if one takes a flight which is having one stop, but what is the point in taking flight which is having 20 stops, 30 stops? That means one is simply coasting around, is it not? And so when it comes to Krishna consciousness, we put so many stops in between. And, first, this criteria should be fulfilled, then that criteria should be fulfilled. All kinds of criteria here and there. And then what happens is that everything else is fulfilled. Only Krishna consciousness remains unfulfilled. Is it not? That is what is going to happen ultimately. Is it not? When we put and there are so many stops in between. First, my job problem should get solved. Then my study problem should get solved. Then my family problem should get solved. Relationship problem should get solved. This should get resolved. That should get dissolved. No. So that should get resolved. This should get resolved. Is it not? So, and then then one says that okay, if all this happens, then I will take petition. Then I will become more serious. But that stage may never happen actually. That means you're simply coasting around actually. So why stop? Krishna consciousness should be non-stop. Prahlad Maharaj is giving this message to the demoniac class schoolmates. The Krishna consciousness should be non-stop. Why do we put so many stops? It's just like that JEE counseling. We have to fill what do we want. We have to fill what do we want. But if one wants something very desperately, he has to put it at the top of his list, is it not? So people have, I was seeing that, people had ranks, 700, 800, 900, In our time, there was only counseling for 1800 people, That's all, So that much only seats in IIT, 1800, that's all. 2001, our time. So, so somebody 800, 900, where is he going to get any computer science, Is it not? But people were still filling. I was seeing that people were still filling. Why? Hope against hope. Maybe by mistake. Maybe by mistake, एक सीट बचा रह गया dual degree में बचा रह गया. Dual degree had just started, so people didn't have much faith in that. So people are thinking this 1 year degree, is it having any substance? So it was like that because it just started. That it just started. There was no batch which had passed out of the dual degree. So how will dual degree be treated and all that? And remember those days it didn't used to be treated. It used to be treated at par with BTech, not anything superior. So therefore, there was a lot of apprehension about it. So anyway, so the point is that people were still filling. Now, what is the point? There's no possibility that you're going to get it. Why are you wasting time? and people are scrutinizing. Maybe this I'll put up, this I'll put up. You first understand where you are getting, and then you plan from there onwards. But no, you plan from computer science, Bombay Computer Science, That will be the first in everyone's case. So your rank is 1500. You will not even get civil in Roorkee, and starting from Bombay Computer Science, Is it right? So something. So that means what? That if one is desperate enough to get something, then one puts it at the top of his list. Is it not? I had seen similar thing in KGP, branch change. Because KGP there is a branch change. Air is there, Everyone first choice branch change, CG 8.2 want computer science, So very interesting actually. But the point is that you see the desperation is there, then the person puts that high up in the priority, like that. How is it that we want Krishna consciousness, but Krishna consciousness is lying way back in the priority somewhere, In that list, first is so many things in first, like that, Salary, this security, that security, and then Krishna consciousness there. Prabhu, wo bhi hai list mein, Is it not? So this is where we need to understand that we need to brace up. Now, the question which comes here is that, or the point which comes here is that, then one may say that, okay, we are wanting everything else to ensure that we can practice properly, or to ensure that we can practice smoothly, or to ensure that, we can practice. Means if every criteria is satisfied in that way, then practice will be better. That is sometimes, the argument which comes up, or that is sometimes the thought process which comes up actually. That is sometimes the thought process which comes up. Now, so therefore, many times this thought process is what shields the sense of urgency and the sense of intensity. The sense of urgency and the sense of intensity. So this is where a sadhaka needs to evaluate strongly and deeply. It appears to be a very it appears to be a very it appears to be a very lovely dream. It's so nice. And if I look at my bank balance, there are a few crores. If I look at my lodging, there is a 4-story mansion. 15-20 rooms at least, 5-6 at least, whatever. And if I look around, there are 100 devotees around. There's no problem. Materially successful, spiritually successful. Then if I pick up the bead bag, I can chant feelingly. It looks like a very lovely dream, is it not? No. It looks like a very lovely dream, actually. But the point to note is that the nature of this world the nature of this world is never going to allow such a dream to take place or such a dream to manifest. Sometimes when there are troubled times, when a devotee feels, when will this end? If this ends, I can practice very nicely. And that is exactly where we are making mistake. Bhagavatam, our acharyas speak that is exactly when we are making mistakes. The problem, the troubled times are never going to end. And many times we feel, when is this going to end? If it ends, I can practice very nicely. But it never ends. It's an unending phenomenon. It is an unending phenomenon. Unending phenomenon. Therefore, there is no point investing in it. Because it is an unending phenomenon. The problems in this life, sufferings in this world are never going to end actually. There will be some or the other problem always. There will be some or the other trouble always. And we can practically see how the easiest of the things become the most difficult in a flip of moments, is it not? In a flip of moment, the easiest of the things become the most difficult. Sometimes we have seen in COVID times, just to get basic grocery fruits became so difficult at one point of time. Is it not? Just to do the simplest of the activities become so difficult. Is it not? Simple activities become now very rare. It was becoming rare to actually go out of the house. This is material nature actually. But this is material world. The sufferings are never going to end. The problems are never going to end actually. Problems are never going to end. This is Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik only comes sometimes. Adi Bhautik is much more. Adi Daivik only comes sometimes actually. Now if you read the newspapers, if you read statistics, you can see, okay, the previous such surge came, this kind of pandemic, epidemic, it comes few years, sometimes here and there, is it not? Like that. So, but Adi Bhautik is much more, is it not? People are going to very securely ensure that we are in a troubled state always. Knowingly, unknowingly. Not everybody is cold-blooded, ensuring, but knowingly, unknowingly, everybody ensure that we are in a troubled state always. In any assembly, even if we are in assembly of devotees, mixed assembly or any assembly actually, Adi Bhautik is going to be much more prominent. Much more prominent. So we hear about Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik in Divaisri. And after 1-2 years of giving device, we feel that this is such a simple philosophy, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, okay? 3 kleshas are there all the time. But what it means is intolerable. What is Adhyatmik actually? It is only when we experience and go through, we can understand how painful, how we reduce to such kind of helplessness. Adi Bhautik is much more prominent because it is much more rampant. One statement by the other person may be enough to completely drain us off. One sentence, knowingly, unknowingly, but that's how it is. And even more rampant than that is the third one. Adi Bhautik is more rampant than Adi Devi. But even more rampant is the third one, the Adhyatmik. Because Adhyatmik Klesh is so Adhyatmik Klesh is superlative. Why? Because on grounds of reality, even if there is no problem which is there, but the note of Adhyatmik Klesh is so powerful that one is still the most miserable. And I'm sorry, you have everything, why are you miserable? You have everything, why are you miserable? But that is the note. Why? Because the person is taking shelter of the rhythms of the mind. The rhythms of the mind, Adhyatmik Klesh, much more powerful actually. So this whole, so therefore this is an unending, this is an unending cascade actually. One after another. And nothing else is there. The mind gives the thought. And if we take shelter of the thought, take it seriously, bus the Adhyatmic list starts. Imagination game, is it not? Imagination game. Ignorance, imagination, illusion. They're all Adhyatmic in nature. So if we see, these problems are never going to end. Where are we going to put a full stop? There is no full stop actually which is there. Therefore, Srila Prahlad Maharaj is bringing out the sense of urgency. And Prahlad Maharaj is not just speaking. Prahlad Maharaj demonstrated. In the pastimes of Sri Prahlad Maharaj, we can see a live demonstration of this aspect. So Hiranyakashipu was bent after destroying Prahlad Maharaj, and therefore Prahlad Maharaj was facing one after the other. So Sri Prahlad Maharaj, he never took to an individual problem and tried to solve it. Okay, now is there elephant, how should I, induce the elephant to be a little pacified? Okay, what note, what song should I sing, or any other, heuristics like that. Okay, now there are snakes, is there any heuristics by which, this can get tuned in? Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj never solved any problem. Prahlad Maharaj is an Acharya for Smaranam, we call us. The example of Smaranam, he simply remembered the Lord. He was not even asking the Lord to solve the problem. Said, okay, I am suffering, I am being thrown from the mountain, please save me. He was just remembering the Supreme Lord. He was just remembering. He did not want to waste that much time also. Because if Krishna wants, anyways, then nobody can do anything. And if it is in Krishna's plan to change the settings, Krishna can change the settings. But one thing Krishna will always ensure is progressive bhakti. Prahlad Maharaj had full faith in him. So we see Prahlad Maharaj live that life. Is it not? He was not saying, when will this end? When will this Hiranyakashipu get tired? Of his. So Hiranyakashipu was a big time demon. Therefore, he had a lot of fuel, and ammunition. His stock was not ending actually. He was going on and on and on. Hiranyakashipu, he did thousands of celestial years of tapasya actually. He had a great stock. So if he is bent upon doing something very difficult, it will be like an oceanic volley, a problem one after another. Every single day, can you imagine? Every single day you complete the morning program and there is death attack, Okay, instead of Mahaprasad, they go in the death attack. So that was Hiranyakashipu. This is never end. Prahlad Maharaj showed this actually. Prahlad Maharaj showed this actually. But Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Krishna. Therefore, there is no point in thinking about and worrying about, okay, when is this problem going to end? When is that phase going to end? No. Forget about what phase it is. We should still and whatever be the phase, one should take, one should accept the intensity of Krishna consciousness, and one should take to Krishna consciousness in an intense manner. So, what is the meaning of surrender? There's a question being asked. What is the meaning of surrender? So, so one yeah. So what is the meaning of surrender? So so one practical meaning of surrender is basically to ensure that our activities and practices of Krishna consciousness are done every single day, despite the situation circumstances. So what is surrender? So we can, so surrender means, yes, okay, so doing the morning program every day fully, full morning program every day, despite the situation, whatever situation. That's surrender, in that sense. So doing our sadhana, despite situation, is it not? Like for students, we used to always say that, we always say that, okay, that that one should prepare for his exams in such a way that even on the exam day one can at least do the morning program. Okay, within the morning program at least 16 hours, is it not? That way, but at least do the morning program. But if one prepares, one can, is it not? So I always feel that, okay, if exam is at 2 o'clock, then by 1 o'clock the preparation ends. But if exam is at 9 o'clock, then 8 o'clock the preparation ends. Like that. So why can't the preparation end at 12 o'clock last night? It's all a matter of preparation, is it not? It's all a matter of preparation. It's all a matter of how one plans it, is it not? And if there are 2 exams in a day, so if there are 2 exams in a day, then both subjects get prepared. By the previous, whatever, by 8 o'clock, almost both subjects are prepared. Like that. 2 exams. Is it? So those who want to score 9 points, they can also, for them, it doesn't matter whether it is 1 exam or morning shift or afternoon shift or 2 exams in the shift. Is it not? For them, it doesn't matter. A person will score 9 points even if there are 2 exams. Is it not? So that means that when things are beyond our control, then when the choice is not given to us, then we do it. Is it not? But we mess up only when the choice is given to us. That is the point. Is it not? So when choice is not given to us, then we do it. Is it not? But when choice is given to us, then we mess up. Is it not? So, right, no? So now in that we can add one additional criteria. Okay, the morning program time is included in the exam time. Exam starts with Shikshashtakam, we do, yeah. And exam starts with Shikshashtakam, So if one does that, one will be able to do it, like that. So that is surrender, is it? That is surrender, to prepare oneself to ensure that even in tough times, one can take up the morning program. Now this is true with sadhana also. It's true with sadhana also. If one prepares, one will be able to do that. Like many times when we passed out, then there was this big crisis that how to do sadhana, like that. And then I remember devotees had very strongly told that make it a point. You chant 16 rounds before going to company, and every week you should get 100% in your sadhana. Sadhana, at least book reading, hearing. So that's what devotees had told me. That student life 70%, 60%, 80%, okay. Student life, no much problem, is coasting along, working life, nothing less than 100%. That's what devotees told me. Reading, hearing, nothing less than 100%. Sleeping time, don't worry. Wake up time, no compromise. Sleeping time, okay. Compromise. Wake up time, no compromise. And that will upkeep on spiritual. This is surrender, actually. What else we call it? Surrender. Is it not? This is surrender. But now this is not the now. So now this is the next aspect. And the other aspect is, then there are other two important, other two more important pillars. This is not my aspect. There are other two more important pillars: Vaishnava Seva and Sankirtan, Jivadaya. Is it not? So similarly, no matter what the situation, one's proclivity should be to serve Vaishnavas. Is it not? And just proclivity is not enough. One should do some tangible service also. Is it not? No, I have a great heart to serve Vaishnavas. Not like that. But what are you doing? That's very important. Is it not? So one should take out time. If you want to serve, there should be, one should meditate. One has to understand, okay, what is service to Vaishnavas? How can serve Vaishnavas? What is the service I can render? One has to take time. One has to now, and one situation may be very busy, but because material world always keeps on busy. Actually, material says, okay, now we're very busy. Now student very busy, now working very busy, now householder very busy, now brahmachari very busy, now your sannyasi very busy. So when are you going to be available? Like that. So one has to make it a point that one takes out time, and that time what one has kept for Vaishnava Seva, despite any situation, one should do it. Prabhupada is telling as a regulative principle, is it not? Similarly, Jivadaya, Sankirtan, preaching. So we should see that at any given point of time, we're always there is some preaching which we are doing. So this is surrender actually, to upkeep all these three pillars: sadhana, the seva, the Vaishnava Seva, and the Sankirtan. To make sure that we have sufficient adequate time slots allotted, and then despite any situation that we are doing this. Is it? And then the next thread of surrender is that we are doing this, and then the next thread of surrender is that that one should always consider that let me slowly increase on each of these threads. More preaching, more service. To upkeep more preaching, more service, more sadhana will also happen. So that is the point actually. So this is surrender, to give that due priority to Krishna despite the situation. That is called a surrender. So if you correlate it with the 6 definitions of surrender, this is basically what it means actually. One of the definitions says, accept the favorable, reject the unfavorable. These are two aspects of surrender. So this is what it means, that okay, I want this is what I want to do. Now what helps me doing, I take it. What doesn't help me doing, reject it. And the next symptom of surrender is that understanding that I think there are two principles speak that Krishna is if I take shelter of Krishna, everything is going to be resolved. Like that. And Krishna is the only shelter. There are two principles which talk about that. Two principles which talk about that actually. So that there are two principles, and one of the principles surrender is humility. Yes, obviously, if one is humble, then only one can. One will be in a disposition to learn and get clues. Only a humble person can learn and get clues. Puffed up man will not be able to get anything. And even if you speak on a loudspeaker, puffed up man, will not be able to hear actually. So that's for humility. And what is the 6th definition of surrender? Krishna is only maintainer. Yeah, Krishna only shelter. Krishna is only maintainer. Yeah, and that faith. Krishna is the only protector. So that means that those three line, one line actually. Krishna is only shelter. By taking shelter of Krishna, everything will be resolved. If I take shelter of Krishna, everything will be resolved. And then there is a favorable, unfavorable, and humility. If you see all these 6 definitions or the 6 definitions, they translate into yes, give priority to Krishna consciousness and uphold that priority, upkeep that priority, and at some at some rate go and increase that priority. Is it not? That's surrender. That is surrender. That's what we can see in Chil Prasad Manas. Like, that's what it means to actually maintain the intensity and urgency of Krishna consciousness. Like that. That's what it means to maintain the urgency. That, okay, first let me ensure this. And if I ensure this, everything else will be ensured. You know? So everything else will be ensured, actually. So everything else will be ensured. So it's not much of a problem. It's not much of a problem. The bottleneck is to ensure Krishna consciousness. And if Krishna consciousness is ensured, everything, we may have to move our hands and legs to ensure other things, but it won't be that big of a problem. Just like if there are just like we may have to do some endeavor for that, but that's not a big problem. The bottleneck is solved. Just like say if you have grocery vegetables say for 1 month, then that means you can eat, because cooking is not that much of a bottleneck problem, is it not? Suppose now lockdown has come, but then you have sufficient grocery, then there is no problem. Cooking is will happen, like that. So yes, we have to move our hands and legs to cook. That's all fine. But it's not that big a crunch. The crunch is the crunch is to get. The deciding factor is you have supply or not, is it not? Like, say, for that matter, people say, okay, if to get money is problem, but if you have money, then everything else will come. You have to move your hands and legs still, is it not? You go to the, when you want to purchase anything, you have to go to the market, or you have to order. Even if it comes, it is not, it is defective, you send it back, reorder, many things you have to do, is it not? So, but that is not that big a problem, Or suppose if nice feast is cooked, then eating is not that big a problem. So you still have to move your hands and legs, You still have to get a plate, You still have to, so there is some amount of endeavor in that. Suppose a person sleeping has to get up to eat, But if the feast is there, then getting a feast is a higher, bottleneck principle. Is it not? Eating is not that big a problem. So similarly, material affairs are not that big a problem. Although we have to move our hands and legs, but if the spiritual affairs are ensured, then easily one can move his hands and legs there. Is it not? Just like in an examination sheet also, to know the answer is the main thing. If you know the answer, writing is not that big a problem. Is it not? Therefore, now when the question paper comes, sometimes people look, kya aata hai mujhe, aata hai, hai ki nahi? Aisa kuch, is it not? Or suppose you see the first question you read, the perspiration is coming out, the second question you read, the palpitation is increasing, like that, is it that? So then the person will be gasping, for breath. Kuch nahi aata mujhe, is it not? Kuch bhi nahi aata hai, kya karu kya, like that. Then a person becomes, 3-4 you read and you don't know, finished, the person's whole morale is gone. I remember JEE subjective examinations. You still like the first question you don't know, second question you don't know, third question you don't know, and people are wondering, kaun hu main, what am I supposed? So the point is that knowing is the main thing, is it not? So therefore one has to keep Krishna conscious. Many people say, जब करने से आ जाता है क्या सब कुछ, सब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा, अच्छा, ऐसे ही हो जाएगा, ऐसे ही हो जाता है. Because आंसर आता है तो तेलुगु में लिखो या हिंदी में लिखो या इंग्लिश में लिखो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Is it not? आंसर आता है तो हिंदी में, अब जेईई एग्जाम हिंदी में दिया, इंग्लिश में दिया, मार्क्स तो सिमिलर मिलेंगे, मार्क्स आंसर पे मिलेगा, लैंग्वेज पे थोड़ी मिलेगा, Is it not? In a similar way, Krishna consciousness can give us the answers. Then physically printing that answer is not that big a deal, actually. Although one has to move his hands and legs here and there. Therefore, we should not get cheated. Sometimes people, just by chanting, food will come. Yes, by chanting, you will get such a vision. You will get such a vision that you will know the answer, that in this situation, how to deal. And when you deal, then all material things will get solved. Yes, you have to write the answer on the paper. That's fine. But that's not that big a deal. For that deal, one should not forsake learning, is it not? You know, if one no, so that is why it is said that that one should not forsake spiritual life for anything else. Just like this examination analogy, if one is simply practicing legitimate and legible handwriting, spending time in that, what is the use of that? That will not make you qualify JEE, isn't that? Right? That's not that big a problem, Even if it is, it should be basically, that's not that big a problem. More bigger problem is to understand the question and to know the solution. Writing is fine, is it not? Writing is fine, not that big a problem actually. So similarly, material affairs is not that big a problem. Spiritual affairs has to be ensured. And that is the message Prahlad Maharaj is giving us. That is the message Prahlad Maharaj is giving us actually. And that is a message Prahlad